Robert Blake's story is one of Hollywood's most infamous tales of crime and controversy. A beloved actor known for his roles in Beretta and in Cold Blood, Blake built a career as a versatile performer with a tough, street-smart persona. However, his off-screen life took a dark turn that overshadowed his decades of work in Hollywood. Blake married Bonnie Lee Backley in 1999, a woman with a history of defrauding wealthy men, which added tension to their relationship. In May 2001, Bonnie was found dead in a car outside a Los Angeles restaurant, shot in the head. Blake, who claimed he had gone back to the restaurant to retrieve a forgotten gun at the time of the shooting, was soon arrested and charged with her murder. Witnesses alleged that Blake had sought hitmen to kill Backley, adding fuel to the public's fascination with the case. In 2005, Blake was acquitted of the criminal charges due to a lack of direct evidence tying him to the crime. However, a civil court found him liable for Bonnie's death, ordering him to pay $30 million to her family. The financial loss, combined with his tarnished reputation, effectively ended Blake's career. Despite his acquittal, public opinion remained divided. Some believed he had escaped justice, while others saw him as a man wrongfully accused. His case became a cautionary tale of fame's fragility, leaving a legacy defined more by scandal than by his contributions to Hollywood. Phil Hartman was a comedy icon, beloved for his work on Saturday Night Live, The Simpsons, and news radio. His sharp wit, versatile impressions, and warm charisma made him a household name and a legend in the entertainment world. Married to Bren Hartman for over a decade, the couple appeared to have a happy life, with 2 young children and a beautiful home. However, their marriage was fraught with underlying tensions that the public could not see. On May 28, 1998, tragedy struck when Bren, under the influence of drugs and alcohol, fatally shot Phil while he was sleeping in their Los Angeles home. Shortly after the murder, she turned the gun on herself, leaving their 2 children orphaned. The incident shocked the world, as fans and friends struggled to reconcile the loving family image with the horrific events. Reports revealed that Bren had been battling substance abuse and mental health issues, which may have exacerbated marital conflicts. She had a history of erratic behavior and struggled with insecurities about Phil's success and her own career frustrations. Toxicology reports indicated that she had consumed alcohol and taken prescription medications, including antidepressants, on the night of the murder. The entertainment industry mourned the loss of Phil Hartman, with tributes highlighting his immense talent and kind spirit. Bren's actions sparked conversations about mental health and substance abuse, particularly within high-pressure environments like Hollywood. Phil's legacy endures through his memorable work, but the tragedy remains a stark reminder of the hidden struggles that can exist behind closed doors. His death not only robbed the world of a comedic genius, but also underscored the importance of addressing mental health and addiction with compassion and awareness. Gig Young, an Academy Award-winning actor celebrated for his role in They Shoot Horses, Don't They?, had a career defined by charm and versatility. Known for his suave on-screen persona, he earned acclaim for both comedic and dramatic roles, making him a staple of Hollywood in the mid-20th century. Despite his professional success, Young's personal life was plagued by instability, failed marriages, and struggles with alcoholism and mental health. In October 1978, just weeks after marrying his 5th wife, Kim Schmidt, tragedy struck. Young and Schmidt were found dead in their Manhattan apartment. Authorities determined that Young had fatally shot his wife before turning the gun on himself. The couple had seemed happy to those around them, with no immediate signs of trouble leading up to the event. The incident shocked the entertainment industry, as Young had recently made a career comeback with appearances in high-profile projects. Investigations revealed a darker side of Young's life. He had battled long-term alcohol addiction and was under the care of Dr. Eugene Landy, a controversial psychologist later known for unconventional and sometimes unethical treatments. Friends and colleagues noted that Young had struggled with mounting pressures and emotional turmoil, which may have contributed to the tragic events. The double tragedy left many unanswered questions, as no note or clear motive was discovered. Speculation swirled about the role of Young's mental health and substance use in the incident. His sudden and violent end became a grim footnote in Hollywood history, overshadowing his illustrious career. While Gig Young is remembered for his talent and contributions to film, his story is also a poignant reminder of the unspoken battles many face and the importance of addressing mental health issues within high-pressure industries. Gig Young was an Academy Award-winning actor whose charm and wit made him a star in classics like They Shoot Horses, Don't They?, and Teacher's Pet. Despite his professional success, his personal life was plagued by instability, failed marriages, and struggles with alcoholism. By the late 1970s, Young's career was in decline, and his mental health had deteriorated significantly. On October 19, 1978, just 3 weeks after marrying his fifth wife, Kim Schmidt, the couple was found dead in their Manhattan apartment. Investigators determined that Young had fatally shot Kim before turning the gun on himself. The lack of a suicide note left the motive unclear, but many speculated that his worsening mental health and alcoholism played a role. Young's life had long been troubled. Friends described him as a deeply private man who struggled with depression and anxiety, often self-medicating with alcohol. He had sought help from controversial psychologist Dr. Eugene Landy, whose unorthodox treatments failed to provide relief. The tragedy shocked Hollywood, as those who knew Young found it difficult to reconcile the violent act with the affable persona he projected. Following his death, Young's legacy became a cautionary tale of fame and personal demons. While his on-screen brilliance remains celebrated, the tragedy of his final years serves as a reminder of the importance of mental health support in an industry known for its pressures and isolation. O.J. Simpson's trial of the century remains one of the most infamous and polarizing events in American history. A former NFL superstar and actor, Simpson was accused of the brutal murders of his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend, Ronald Goldman, in June 1994. The case captivated the nation, blending celebrity drama, racial tensions, and groundbreaking forensic evidence into a media spectacle. Simpson initially failed to surrender to police, leading to the infamous slow-speed chase through Los Angeles, which was broadcast live and watched by millions. The trial began in 1995 with Simpson's Dream Team defense, led by Johnnie Cochran and Robert Shapiro, pitted against a prosecution team armed with DNA evidence linking Simpson to the crime scene. Cochran's famous line, "If it doesn't fit, you must acquit," referring to a bloody glove found at the scene, became emblematic of the defense's strategy. The verdict of not guilty divided the nation, with polls revealing stark racial divides in public opinion. Many Black Americans saw the acquittal as a victory against systemic racism, while others believed Simpson had escaped justice due to his wealth and fame. In 1997, a civil court found Simpson liable for the deaths, ordering him to pay $33.5 million in damages. Simpson's trial exposed deep societal rifts and changed the landscape of media coverage, making it a defining moment in American culture. His legacy is forever tied to the case, overshadowing his athletic achievements and leaving an indelible mark on the justice system. Michael Jace, best known for his role as a morally complex cop on FX's The Shield, shocked Hollywood with a crime that mirrored the dark themes of his on-screen character. On May 19, 2014, Jace fatally shot his wife, April Jace, in their Los Angeles home, an act that was both brutal and senseless. Adding to the tragedy, the couple's 2 young sons witnessed the entire incident, forever altering their lives. April Jace, a dedicated mother and accomplished track and field athlete, was well loved in her community. Her vibrant personality and commitment to her family stood in stark contrast to the violent end she suffered. During the investigation, it was revealed that the couple's marriage had been fraught with tension, including financial struggles and accusations of emotional abuse. Witnesses testified that Jace had become increasingly jealous and controlling in the years leading up to the crime. According to court testimony, Michael Jace shot April multiple times, including once in the legs, allegedly taunting her about her athleticism before delivering the fatal shots. Afterward, he called April's mother, confessing to the murder, and surrendered to the police. In 2016, Jace was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to 40 years to life in prison. The tragedy left a lasting impact on their children and the community. Michael Jace's crime became a sobering reminder of the dangers of domestic violence and the need for vigilance and support for victims. Sid Vicious, bassist of the iconic punk band the Sex Pistols, and Nancy Spungen, a troubled groupie, shared a relationship defined by chaos, addiction, and volatility. Their infamous love affair, fueled by heroin and codependence, became as notorious as their music. The couple's descent into darkness was a grim reflection of the punk lifestyle they embodied. On October 12, 1978, Nancy Spungen was found dead in their room at New York's Chelsea Hotel with a single stab wound to her abdomen. Sid, heavily intoxicated and incoherent, was immediately arrested and charged with second-degree murder. He gave conflicting accounts of the night, including the claim that Nancy had fallen onto the knife during an argument. The chaotic scene in their room, with guests coming and going throughout the night, only deepened the mystery. Released on bail, Sid's life spiraled further out of control. He attempted to harm himself and was hospitalized for psychiatric treatment. Less than 4 months after Nancy's death, Sid died of a heroin overdose on February 2, 1979, at just 21 years old, before the case could go to trial. Their story remains a haunting tale of love, addiction, and self-destruction. For many, they symbolize the tragic consequences of unchecked substance abuse and toxic relationships. Despite their tragic end, Sid and Nancy's relationship has been romanticized in pop culture, becoming a cautionary tale of the excess and recklessness that often accompany fame. Faye Dunaway, an iconic actress revered for her powerful performances in films like Bonnie and Clyde and Network, harbored a reputation as one of Hollywood's most enigmatic and intense stars. Known for her fiery presence, both on and off-screen, her personal life often mirrored the dramatic roles she portrayed. But imagine if beneath the glamorous veneer of one of cinema's greats lay a dark, fictionalized twist, one that sent shockwaves through the industry. In this hypothetical scenario, rumors swirl around a secret relationship between Dunaway and a reclusive writer, whose life ends under mysterious circumstances. The two are said to have been deeply involved during the height of her career, their romance marked by passionate highs and destructive lows. Industry insiders whisper about explosive arguments that would erupt behind closed doors. One night, during a heated confrontation at her Hollywood Hills estate, the writer is found dead from a fatal head wound. Dunaway's version of events is that an accidental fall caused the injury, but conflicting accounts emerge. A housekeeper claims to have overheard a violent struggle, while neighbors report a history of disturbances. The fictional trial captures the world's attention, with Dunaway's courtroom composure scrutinized as much as her dramatic testimony. In this fabricated twist, she's acquitted due to lack of evidence, but the whispers linger, tarnishing her otherwise illustrious career. While entirely fictional, this suspenseful tale underscores how fame can amplify scrutiny and reminds us of the thin line between public persona and personal reality. Jovan Belcher, a linebacker for the Kansas City Chiefs, seemed to have it all: a promising NFL career, a young family, and a supportive community. Yet beneath the surface, tensions and struggles culminated in a tragedy that shocked the sports world and beyond. On December 1, 2012, Belcher fatally shot his girlfriend, 22-year-old Cassandra Perkins, in their Kansas City home. Their 3-month-old daughter, Zoe, was present but unharmed. Belcher's mother, who had recently moved in to help care for Zoe, witnessed the horrifying event and called 911. Shortly afterward, Belcher drove to the Chiefs' practice facility at Arrowhead Stadium. There, in front of team officials and coaches, he confessed to killing Perkins. As police arrived, Belcher knelt beside a car, made the sign of the cross, and took his own life. Reports later revealed that Belcher and Perkins had a tumultuous relationship, with frequent arguments. The night before the tragedy, Perkins attended a concert, leading to another heated dispute. Friends and teammates described Belcher as a caring father, but noted his erratic behavior in the weeks leading up to the incident. An autopsy revealed Belcher's blood alcohol level was twice the legal limit, and posthumous research confirmed signs of chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE, a degenerative brain condition linked to repeated head trauma. The diagnosis fueled discussions about mental health, domestic violence, and the dangers of contact sports. Belcher's death left a void for his family, teammates, and fans. Zoe, orphaned at just 3 months old, was raised by Perkins' family, who became advocates for domestic violence awareness. This tragedy continues to be a somber reminder of the unseen struggles faced by even the most seemingly successful individuals. Oscar Pistorius, once celebrated as a global icon and a symbol of triumph over adversity, fell from grace in one of the most shocking cases in sports history. Known as the Blade Runner, the double amputee Paralympian had defied the odds, competing in both the Paralympics and the 2012 Olympic Games. His fame and inspiring story captivated millions, but his legacy was forever tainted on Valentine's Day 2013. That night, Pistorius shot and killed his girlfriend, Riva Steenkamp, at his home in Pretoria, South Africa. Riva, a model and law graduate, was admired for her intelligence, beauty, and activism against gender-based violence. Pistorius claimed he had mistaken her for an intruder, firing 4 shots through a locked bathroom door in a state of panic. The defense argued it was a tragic accident, while prosecutors contended it was a premeditated act of violence, citing a history of volatile behavior. The trial, which began in 2014, gripped the world with its dramatic revelations. Questions arose about Pistorius' actions that night: why he hadn't checked if Riva was in bed, why he hadn't fired a warning shot, and the chilling fact that he didn't call for help until after the shooting. In 2014, he was convicted of culpable homicide, manslaughter, and sentenced to 5 years in prison, a verdict widely criticized as too lenient. In 2015, the conviction was upgraded to murder on appeal, and Pistorius was sentenced to 6 years, later increased to 13 years. The case highlighted South Africa's epidemic of gender-based violence and raised questions about privilege and justice. Riva's death left a nation mourning and her family devastated, turning Pistorius from a hero into a cautionary tale of unchecked ego and the consequences of violent actions. Earl Hayes and Stephanie Mosley's story is one of love, ambition, and devastating tragedy that shocked Hollywood and the music industry. Stephanie, an accomplished dancer and actress, had built a promising career, appearing in shows like Hit the Floor and working as a backup dancer for stars like Beyoncé and Jennifer Lopez. Her magnetic energy and talent were admired by many. Earl Hayes, her husband, was a rapper closely connected to major industry figures, including boxing legend Floyd Mayweather Jr. On December 8, 2014, police were called to the couple's Los Angeles apartment after neighbors reported hearing gunshots. When authorities arrived, they discovered both Hayes and Mosley dead in an apparent murder-suicide. Hayes had shot Stephanie multiple times before taking his own life. The chilling details stunned friends and fans alike. The tragedy took an even darker turn when it was revealed that Hayes had reportedly been on a FaceTime call with Mayweather during the incident. Reports suggested that Hayes confronted Mosley about infidelity, accusing her of being unfaithful with high-profile figures, which allegedly triggered the violence. Mayweather later denied any wrongdoing, but admitted he had been on the call as events unfolded. The entertainment world mourned Stephanie's death, with tributes pouring in from stars like Rihanna, Ashley Tisdale, and Eva Marcille, who called her an absolute angel. The tragedy sparked discussions about the dangers of untreated mental health issues and the prevalence of domestic violence, even in seemingly glamorous lives. Stephanie's death left a void in the dance and entertainment communities, and Earl Hayes' actions remain a somber reminder of how jealousy and unresolved conflicts can lead to irreparable harm. Their story underscores the importance of mental health support and the need for vigilance in addressing signs of domestic abuse. Russell Neal, a former member of the R&B group High Five, became infamous for a shocking crime that devastated his family and fans. High Five, known for hits like I Like the Way, The Kissing Game, brought Neal fame in the early 1990s. However, his career had long faded by the time his name resurfaced in connection to a horrific act of violence in 2014. On July 2, 2014, Neal walked into a sheriff's office in Houston, Texas, and calmly informed authorities that his wife was dead. He provided minimal details and refused to answer questions, simply requesting a lawyer. Police were dispatched to Neal's home, where they discovered the lifeless body of Catherine Martinez, his 24-year-old wife. She had been brutally beaten and stabbed, with injuries so severe they were described as horrifying. Catherine, a fitness enthusiast and aspiring model, was a mother to the couple's 2 young sons, who were fortunately unharmed during the incident. However, the trauma of losing their mother in such a violent manner left a permanent mark on their lives. Neil was charged with murder and held in custody. As the case unfolded, disturbing details emerged about his controlling behavior and the couple's troubled relationship. Friends and neighbors expressed shock, noting how Neil's calm demeanor during his confession contrasted with the brutality of the crime. The case drew significant media attention, not only because of Neil's connection to High Five, but also due to the tragic nature of the crime. Catherine's death served as a grim reminder of the often hidden dangers of domestic violence, sparking calls for greater awareness and resources to support victims. Neil's actions tarnished his legacy and left a lasting scar on those who knew and loved Catherine. Chris Benoit was a celebrated professional wrestler known for his technical skills, intense performances, and dedication to the sport. Over a career spanning decades, he earned multiple championships and the admiration of fans worldwide. However, his legacy was overshadowed by a horrifying tragedy in 2007 that stunned the wrestling community and shed light on the devastating effects of chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE. On June 25, 2007, police discovered the bodies of Benoit, his wife Nancy, and their 7-year-old son Daniel in their Georgia home. Investigators determined that Benoit had killed Nancy and Daniel before taking his own life. Nancy had been bound and strangled, while Daniel had been smothered. Benoit later hung himself with a weight machine cable. The grisly details sent shockwaves through the sports and entertainment industries. The tragedy prompted questions about what could have driven Benoit to commit such acts. An autopsy revealed that Benoit's brain showed severe damage consistent with CTE, a condition caused by repeated head trauma. This brain degeneration is linked to violent behavior, depression, and impaired judgment. Benoit had suffered numerous concussions throughout his wrestling career, and the diagnosis added urgency to discussions about athlete safety and long-term health risks. The WWE initially paid tribute to Benoit, but quickly distanced itself after the facts of the case emerged. His name was erased from the organization's history, and his achievements were overshadowed by the tragedy. The Benoit case remains a pivotal moment in sports history, bringing attention to CTE and the need for better mental health and safety protocols in professional wrestling and contact sports. While his wrestling talent is remembered by some, the tragedy of his actions and their lasting impact on his family and the industry cannot be ignored. Bertrand Cantat, the lead singer of the French rock band Noir Désir, was once celebrated for his poetic lyrics and impassioned performances. However, his career was irreparably tarnished in 2003 when he was convicted of killing his girlfriend, actress Marie Trintignant, in a shocking case of domestic violence. Marie, the daughter of iconic French actor Jean-Louis Trintignant, was a renowned actress in her own right. The couple's relationship was tumultuous, marked by jealousy and intense arguments. In July 2003, while staying in Lithuania during the filming of Marie's latest project, their volatile dynamic reached a tragic climax. During an argument in their hotel room, Cantat beat Marie severely, causing a traumatic brain injury. She fell into a coma and died days later from cerebral edema, the swelling of her brain. Cantat claimed her death was accidental, insisting that he had not intended to harm her, but the injuries told a different story. Cantat was arrested and later convicted of manslaughter, receiving an 8-year prison sentence. His relatively short prison term, compounded by his release after serving only 4 years, sparked outrage, particularly among advocates for domestic violence prevention. The case became a focal point for discussions about lenient sentencing and the widespread issue of violence against women. Cantat's attempts to resume his music career after his release were met with significant backlash, and his concerts were frequently disrupted by protests. The tragedy left an indelible mark on both the entertainment world and the broader conversation about domestic violence. Marie Trintignant's death serves as a somber reminder of the dangers of unchecked jealousy and violence, and Cantat's case remains one of the most infamous examples of domestic abuse in the public eye. Her legacy endures as a call for justice and action against gender-based violence. Claudette Longit, a French-American singer and actress, was thrust into infamy in 1976 when she was accused of killing her boyfriend, Olympic skier Vladimir "Spider" Sabic, under mysterious circumstances. The case, which unfolded in the idyllic setting of Aspen, Colorado, captivated the public and exposed shocking procedural errors that ultimately shaped its outcome. Longit had been living with Sabic in Aspen for several years before the incident. On March 21, 1976, Sabic was fatally shot in the abdomen with a .22 caliber pistol in their home. Longit claimed the shooting was accidental, stating that the gun discharged while Sabic was demonstrating how it worked. However, investigators and prosecutors questioned her account, suggesting the couple's relationship had grown strained, and pointing to evidence that Sabic had been facing away from Longit when he was shot. The case became highly controversial due to critical mistakes by the authorities. Investigators seized Longit's diary and conducted a blood test without obtaining proper warrants, rendering key evidence inadmissible in court. Additionally, the gun involved in the shooting was mishandled by non-experts, further complicating the prosecution's case. In the end, Longit was convicted of negligent homicide, a far lesser charge than many had anticipated. She served just 30 days in jail, a sentence she was allowed to complete on weekends to remain with her children. The verdict and leniency of her punishment sparked widespread criticism and debate. After the trial, Longit largely withdrew from the public eye, eventually marrying her defense attorney. Though she avoided significant legal repercussions, the case remains a contentious chapter in Aspen's history and a reminder of the importance of proper legal procedures in ensuring justice. Sabic's tragic death left a lasting shadow over her career, and public opinion of Longit remains divided to this day. Ray Caruth, a wide receiver for the Carolina Panthers, shocked the nation in 1999 when he was implicated in a conspiracy to kill his pregnant girlfriend, Cherica Adams. What began as a promising NFL career ended in disgrace, with a crime that left an indelible mark on the sports world and beyond. On November 16, 1999, Cherica Adams was ambushed and shot multiple times while driving her car in Charlotte, North Carolina. Despite her critical injuries, Cherica managed to call 911, identifying Caruth as the orchestrator of the attack. According to her account, Caruth had blocked her car with his own vehicle, allowing another car to pull alongside and carry out the shooting. The assailant, Van Brett Watkins Sr., was later revealed to be a nightclub manager hired by Caruth to carry out the crime. Cherica, 8 months pregnant, was rushed to the hospital, where doctors performed an emergency C-section to save her son, Chancellor Lee Adams. Tragically, Cherica succumbed to her injuries a month later. Chancellor survived, but was left with permanent brain damage and cerebral palsy due to oxygen deprivation before birth. Caruth initially posted bail, but fled after Cherica's death. He was found hiding in the trunk of a car in Tennessee, equipped with cash, a cell phone, and supplies, indicating an attempt to evade capture. At trial, prosecutors argued that Caruth orchestrated the attack because Cherica had refused to terminate her pregnancy. In 2001, Caruth was convicted of conspiracy to commit murder and other charges, receiving an 18-year prison sentence. Released in 2018, he issued a public apology to Cherica's mother, Sandra Adams, who had raised Chancellor with unconditional love and support. The case remains one of the most infamous in NFL history, serving as a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of unchecked anger and the enduring strength of those left behind to rebuild their lives. Sandra and Chancellor's story of resilience continues to inspire, standing in stark contrast to Caruth's legacy of betrayal and violence. Marie Trintignant, a beloved French actress and the daughter of legendary actor Jean-Louis Trintignant, was a star with a bright future. Her life was tragically cut short in 2003 by Bertrand Cantat, the lead singer of Noir Désir, in a harrowing case of domestic violence that not only devastated her family, but also ignited a national conversation about intimate partner abuse. Mary and Bertrand's relationship was marked by intense emotions and volatility. While working in Lithuania on a film project, tensions between the two escalated. On the night of July 26, 2003, during a heated argument, Cantat violently assaulted Marie, striking her repeatedly. The attack caused severe head trauma, and Marie slipped into a coma. Despite medical efforts, she succumbed to her injuries on August 1, 2003. The autopsy revealed that her death resulted from a combination of brain swelling and internal bleeding caused by the assault. Cantat was arrested and charged with manslaughter. During his trial, he claimed that he had not intended to kill Marie, portraying the incident as an outburst of uncontrolled anger. The court convicted him of manslaughter and sentenced him to 8 years in prison, though he served only 4 before being released on parole. His early release sparked outrage,